Hey, this is Phil Lilley, Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on Lake Taneycomo. Jackson and I are out there doing one cast. I've got my good friend John Johnson just above me in his brand new boat. And one of his buddies up here from Kingfisher, Oklahoma, fished for the day or a couple days. And John Sappington's out on a guide trip today, and I saw him catch a bunch of fish coming up. So I came out last evening and fished a little closer to the Narrows with a zebra midge and caught just a ton of trout. I mean, small rainbows. And I tried putting on a scud, thinking maybe I'd catch a bigger fish, and then there are just a lot of small rainbows up here in the trophy area. They're not running any water. There's a real nice chop on the water. So I'm just back with a zebra midge. Hopefully catch something decent, but I've already caught 3 or 4 here real quick, so I know they're biting good. I've got a number 14, and this is a crystal flash zebra midge with a gold head. 6X tippet, 3 foot deep to a hard foam indicator. And as you can see, I'm fishing right in front of what we call the dry wash coming off the golf course there. John, I'll try to kind of catch him a little bit in the camera. John landing another fish. I know he's using a zebra midge too. Yeah, there are just a lot of small rainbows up here right now, just a ton. And it looks like a lot of them were just stocked here not long ago. Although I did catch some really pretty small rainbows yesterday that might have been native. First cast fish. The key is to just leave it out there till you catch a fish, because there's just a lot of fish. All I gotta really do is just find it. Might move down just a little bit away from them, but I did stick one yesterday that was pretty good size, and I didn't have him on very long. But this chop on the water.
I haven't got you the trolling motor you wanted, and you didn't even remember.
It's the first thing that goes is memory.
Yeah. Well, that's been a lot of fun.
I did notice that you got the trolling motor, so.
Now if I can find my fly rod and my scud and midge box somewhere.
It's actually been pretty windy.
My spot lock's going crazy. I don't understand.
Did you calibrate it?
No?
You need to get another dealer. They need to tell you all that stuff.
I know, but they don't even have a salesman. I use their parts manager. He never told me how to calibrate it.
Yeah, we'll do it when we get back to the dock. It's not that hard. John just picked his boat up yesterday, and well, no, he didn't pick it up yesterday. He picked it up and said he took it out to a farm pond and put it in, and ran the motor for a while and ran it out of gas. They didn't put much gas in it. So when it got here, of course they put gas in at the gas station. When they got here, it wouldn't start because all the gas had been run out of the system, out of the fuel filter and all that. So they had to end up going to a shop in town and they bled the system, or whatever you call it. It's not bleeding, but it's the opposite. Got gas in the system now. He's got his boat running, but he doesn't have his trolling motor calibrated. Got our chop back here. We've been catching a lot of little fish up here. I know there's a lot of big fish up here. It just... Yeah. It's all I caught yesterday were little ones. There's a lot of them though. Kind of feel like I'm in a trout park when they bite like this. He's pretty. They're all small though. I'm gonna get my trolling motor foot feed. Excuse me, Jack. Woo. I might try the scud here in a second. Like I said, I feel like I have a better chance fishing with a scud, a bigger fish. You definitely don't catch as many, well, most of the time, on a scud. Seems like. I mean, yesterday, I was catching them even quicker than I'm catching them today on the zebra midge, just one after another. And so I switched to a scud, and it took about 3 or 4 times longer for them to eat it, and the bite was not as pronounced. In other words, the float on a zebra midge, I mean, it just goes under. On a scud, it's more of a vibrate. Might go under a little bit. It's a lot more subtle. So I think you probably miss a lot of bites. You just don't see them. It's just different. You need to give Gerald a fly rod.
No, I didn't. He left me after they did that. They're running water all the time, and then I get here and they cut it off.
Yeah.
Borrow one from me.
I got one in the boat you can have. This is a better fish. Ooh, don't stand on my line. Yeah, it's good fish. Oh, there are big fish in here. You keep your rod high, keep it to where you can drop it if he really makes a good hard run. Oh yeah, man, that's pretty. That's a pretty fish. What?
You got lunch plans?
Nope.
I might go to Dana's. Hey, there's a nice one. What's that?
It's a trout. Rainbow. There we go. Nice. That's what I like to see. I gotta be back by 1:30. I gotta meet with somebody. Other than that, I don't have anything planned. Ah. Ah. One more time, I'm gonna check my hook. I don't think I bit it. There, John's got one. Okay. Gotta have something wrong with my hook. No, I don't. That's weird. I missed like 4 in a row. I'm gonna give Gerald one of my extra fly rods here in a second. He's got a spinning rod and he really needs a fly rod to do this. You notice I'm mending back to my left. That's because the wind is putting a big bow in my line, and I don't want that bow to drag my float like this. It seems like they're not eating it immediately. It takes them a little while to either find it or eat it. No, I really haven't. They've been catching a lot of crappie on Table Rock. Seen a lot of pictures. It's a little bit difficult to mend to my left because the wind is blowing. Oh, from my left to right. Okay. That was a little one, so I'm glad I pulled out. I'm not hitting it quite as hard as I did before. Okay, I'm gonna take a short break. After this little one. These are little. Okay. All right. I'll be right back. As soon as I give this rod to Gerald. Okay. So I'm gonna fish with a Peppe scud. It's number 12, and this bug has caught a lot of fish yesterday, so it's all tore up. Got a little piece of trout flesh on it. And I've got it set about 5 foot deep. It is weighted, 6X tippet. The fly is weighted. Well, John's got another one, so we'll see if, and you know, I'm going to move a little closer to this bank. Come on, Phil. I want to be in a little bit shallower water. Okay. All right. So I'm fishing maybe 5 foot deep and probably in 4 foot of water is what I'm guessing. So that bug should be right on the bottom. Just missed one. And this one I want to jig that float just a little bit every once in a while. Just make it swim. It's already moving a little bit in the wind, a little bit of current. Oop, came off. He wasn't very big. John's got another one. And I just wanted to mention the difference between a Peppe scud and a regular scud. Regular scuds usually are pretty tightly, the fur on them is pretty tight, trimmed on the top, and the bottom fibers are left long, make it look like legs. These are picked out all the way around and not trimmed. Gosh, see, not a whole lot of fur on this one. But Roland Duffield. He's a very good friend of mine. He's the author of the Peppe scud. I'm not going to say he was the first because you just never know about someone that had done it before you, but he's been tying these since the 60s, so. And Peppe, of course, was his Shih Tzu dog that he had for years that he'd use his fur. He said it was a perfect fiber. It was just stiff enough, but not too stiff. And of course, most Shih Tzus are gray. And I am very sad to say that Roland, he's in his mid-90s, is on hospice and not doing well. And I'm not sure if he's watching one cast now, but if he is, I love you, Roland. I have visited with him. You know, even at, it doesn't make any difference, even at 90, you know, he's lived a long, blessed life. You know, it's still hard. It's hard for him, it's hard for his family, hard for his friends. It's part of life, though. But he is an awesome human being. The man was shooting his age score in golf just until a couple of years ago. John's still catching the fire out of him. Sure glad I came up here and told you how to fish. Need to share it with Gerald, though. I've got a scud on this. That zebra midge you got on, I've caught quite a few. I caught a lot yesterday on it, so it'll work. I really ought to just add a zebra midge to this. A little double fly rig going, put a zebra midge over the top of a scud. Oop. Oh, still good. I give you permission to change flies or change rods, one of the two.
You got better luck changing flies. I'll even furnish the flies.
So I gave Gerald my rod that I was catching fish on, and John's still, I think he said he was using a black zebra. Oh, come on. Man, he was running with it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think I've got some looping going on here. You do have to watch. It just slid. Always watch where the fly lands to make sure it's still at the right depth. And it doesn't have a bunch of loops in it, tangled. So I've moved up into even more shallower water, closer to this shallow bank. Typically those fish will get up on this shallow flat and feed. Especially if there's a chop on the water like this. Oh, saw a fish underneath my float flash. You definitely don't catch as many fish. It's just about the same as it was yesterday. You notice I'm keeping my rod tip really close to the water, especially when that wind picks up, because I don't want the wind picking up my line and dragging my float and fly around. Well.
I think this thing's going crazy.
Well, might be the case where I've lost so much of the fiber off that scud that it's just not performing like it did. I'd like to catch one more on it and then I'll switch. Okay. We're switching. Still got a little on there. I'm not gonna throw it away. Okay, we're gonna put a black number 14 zebra. Jackson's so warm out here, he's back in the shade. Okay, not gonna go as deep. About 2 feet, 2.5. There, Gerald's got one. Whew. Ah. Fell. I looked away. That was totally my fault. You can't look away. You can't look at your phone. They're out a little deeper water too. I'm thinking I probably should move out a little deeper water too. I think I might go a little deeper on my fly too. Oh, he just barely hit that. Yeah, I need to go deeper. About 3 feet. Yeah, oh. Yeah, I still got it. Felt like a little bigger fish. I mean, it might not have been, but sometimes when you set the little bit. The spot lock sure helps, especially in this wind. When it works, it's kind of all over the place right at the moment. I know it's a long one cast, that's all right. It did slow down. John just asked, did it slow down for me? Well, it slowed down when I put the scud on, but even with these midges, they're not exactly eating it. So I'm going to move just a little bit. I'm gonna back out just a little further. Gerald's got one. Something else that probably worked pretty good today would be a micro jig. Oh, finally. It's not a bad fish, but he didn't want to fight at all. It's around his jaw, which I don't like at all. Thank you. Ooh, it's around his gill plate. It's around everything. This fish didn't fight at all. There we go. Fat. Big old fat belly. I'm gonna have a hard time counting how many fish I caught. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the whole thing. So if you don't do a lot of fly fishing, the zebra midge is the way to go because the bite is so different. On a zebra midge, the float just goes under. You know, and that scud, those fish will take it in and they won't take it. They'll just kind of do this, and unless they move with it and your float moves, you're just not going to see it. Hoping for one more nice fish. Gerald's got another one. He's catching up with John. Oh, come on. He's running with it. I might be getting too shallow up here for my fly where it's set. I think it's a little bit more shallow through here than, well, maybe not. I looked away too. He's a little one. You don't necessarily want this fly dragging the bottom. This could be a natural fish. Pretty small. Got nice paw marks. I caught several of these yesterday. Oh, okay. My float actually slid up a little bit, so I'm only fishing about 2 foot deep, which is just about right for the water I'm in. That was not the big fish I was looking for, though. That's another little one. Typically these fish, well, I shouldn't say that. Typically these fish do move out of this area, especially if the food starts to dry up a little bit. Another really pretty rainbow. Pink fins. Come on, big fish. My fly line is sinking. It's getting dirty and sinking. I need to clean it and treat it when I get back. There are some line cleaners out there that you can use. Come with a cloth. I typically just use Dawn soap and a rag, soapy rag. And then dress it with line dressing. Well, he's staying up in the same spot. I'm trying to move every once in a while just to look at a little bit different water, but it's not necessarily helping me. Kick loose. I think I'm in too shallow water. I'm pretty sure my fly is down there on the bottom. So my remedy, instead of moving the float, is I'll move out in deeper water. Boy, they definitely slowed down. Well, I think I'm going to call it quits. It's I hadn't had a bite in so long, and I just had one. But I am going to call it quits. It's almost noon. Got to go eat some lunch. It's been a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back out again tomorrow. It's supposed to be nice. Not quite as warm, and I don't think the wind's supposed to. I don't know. It might blow tomorrow, but it's really starting to get windy up here now. So, but I appreciate it. See you tomorrow.